Greetings historians, welcome to Lore of the Dragon. While I said I wasn't going to make this video to some, I've decided I'd like to visit Munitions Forge and make yet another video on the environments of the Legend of Spyro. But also, I would like to say something here. I will be taking a break from the channel for the foreseeable future. I've gotten to the point where I don't really enjoy making videos, even these, for about a year now. I've pushed through and talked about it with others, and it's pretty much the conclusion that I might be burnt out or simply wanting to move on. There are things I'd like to move on to, even if this channel for the last 4 years has shown me that it has had a positive outcome for some of you. For the time being, though, I'm going to see if I can just take care of myself. I might be back, I'm not sure. But I think after this video, I just need a long, extended break from making videos like these. But for now, let's try to finish this video and take a journey through the fiery labyrinth of Munitions Forge. Like before, we follow Spyro as he's sent to find and free one of the Guardians, landing on the beach of Munitions Forge. And it's impossible not to notice the twisted metal, the lava and Boisedbig, a violently active volcano lingering in the background. Apes wait to greet the purple dragon on the shores, as well as a critter which seems to be like a crab, called lava fiddlers. They crawl around the beach and other locations in Munitions Forge, looking around them with their 3 eyes. When neared, they leap in what I imagine to be fear, though seem to stand around as they were, instead of skittering away like one might expect. As for the apes, one might notice their appearance has changed again. This time they bear metal armor, purple, like the twisted amalgamations of metal that lead deeper into the island. They harness the element of fire, manifesting it through spirit gems to block Spyro's path, and to embolden their attacks among the twisted metal, some of which are rails, made to transport materials quickly from one place to another. And along with the industrial machines around the purple dragon, one might be able to ascertain the story of this island. Supposedly, according to one Jared Pollan, someone who worked on the Legend of Spyro in the beginning and the Eternal Night, Munitions Forge was once host to the dragons, which, looking further into the island, is something I find hard to think of as far from the truth. They say that it was a supply point during the dragon's war with the apes, and Ignitus, the fire guardian, made a stand here until they were ultimately driven out. What remains now are tunnels of metal and broken buildings which might have once been impressive structures to rival the swamp's dragon temple. On the way to these structures, we find yet another inhabitant of Munitions Forge, fire beetles, impervious to the fire element, as one might expect in such an extreme environment. In fact, we'll find later that this is a common trait among the animals native to this island. What seems to be most effective against them, then, is the element of ice, recently acquired by Spyro in Tall Plains. These fire beetles seem to have infested many parts of Munitions Forge, from artificial tunnels to mines to even a nest further along in Spyro's journey. They made smaller nests which grant them homes. Alas, in the way of Spyro, some were destroyed, though I imagine Spyro was stung a few times in the process. What we later find is Spyro running into a people called the Manor Smalls, most of whom are native people to the island and now under the heel of Cinder and her forces. It is one Moyer that explains the situation to Spyro, of their people being forced to work and mine for gems and crystals, and of his brother Exhumer working deeper within these mines. Ironically, the moles are being held in place by more spirit gems, perhaps the very same ones they mined out. Spyro, of course, agrees to help free the Manor Smalls, and deeper, he and Sparks travel into the island, and come across a rather peculiar area. Of course, most people would know this area as a place with a strange bell, and of course, where Spyro learns how to harness the earth element. It is the area that this is in, which is rather lush in comparison to everywhere else, that I want to look at. Throughout Munitions Forge, there are burnt branches, there are doors of wood, all among the metal and pipes and lava. But here it is green. Further along is even water, which seems to shift in color. Something hoots in the background, though remains unseen. Perhaps an animal like an owl or something that will remain a mystery. These groves, like them, deep within the rocks surrounding them, seem to offer respite to plant life and travelers alike, though Spyro doesn't stay in these for long. Along the path we run into yet more apes and more native species to Munitions Forge, seemingly who have relatives in the ancient grove. Magma worms sprout out from the lava, sharing the fire beetle's royal purple and yellow hues. They spit what seems like fire and claw at the purple dragon, and once again prove the ice element's effectiveness in this area, for they too, like what lay further ahead, have all but conquered the pain that comes from fire. This other creature dwarfs their counterparts. The buffalo beetle, which takes the appearance of a rather large scorpion. As a common trend among these animals, they either sting or claw at those in range, or even spew lava at the purple dragon. Perhaps to guard themselves from these, the apes riding them bear metal masks, where only their eyes pierce through to gaze upon their target. It seems that they share the weakness of the ice element along with the other native species, but also they have a weakness to the earth element. The last one came to as a surprise, particularly to me. As well, they share the colors of the magma worm and the fire beetle. While I understand their weakness to ice and the resistance to fire, I wonder why they all bear these sorts of colors. I imagine there's some reason for this, though I'm not entirely sure why myself. Maybe that's a point of speculation people can bring up. As if to signify the corrupting power of the Dark Army, Munitions Forge turns more into a factory the further Spyro traverses into it, where more rails, more platforms of metal, more metal defenses, and apes clad in its dark purple hue linger. We see these as Spyro continues to free moles, now under the assignment of Exhumer. Around them are forges and pumps, more to fuel the war machine. Again, Spyro frees the Manor smalls, and Exhumer guides Spyro to where Terrador, the Earth Guardian, is being held. Still deeper within Munitions Forge, we find cannons that spew lava like the animals that surround them. Modified cannons from the ones we see in Dante's Freezer and Tall Plains. And finally, the rails give way to the strange creations of this metal world. Carts and machines powered by steam linger in the tunnels. In fact, one is guided by the one who seems to have been left in charge of Munitions Forge by Cinder, one called the Conductor. And on their chariot of metal and steam, they face Spyro for a time, with brief respite. Past steam valves and through tunnels, Spyro finally finds the Earth Guardian, stuck in a cage of metal, suspended by gems, with one just beyond him. It is the gem which has been draining the Guardian's power, now completely filled, while the Earth Guardian is helpless to do anything. The Conductor finds Spyro once again, and it becomes a battle between metal and dragon. The confining nature of rails not holding back the onslaught against the purple dragon. Yet still, eventually he defeats the Conductor and frees Terrador. Yet more is to come. And it seems that the native species of Munitions Forge are not the only ones who can brave the lava of the island. And in the chase, we get to see the volcano, the lava flowing through it, the true size of it, before Spyro is almost caught by Cinder, and Ignitus saves him by distracting her. The Fire Guardian is captured, and Spyro is forced to leave him and fly back to the Dragon Temple with Terrador, which marks the end of our visit in Munitions Forge. So, I know most people probably won't be too happy about me ending this on Munitions Forge, because there's like 2 other places to talk about in this game alone, and I'm sorry about that. Again, like I said at the beginning, I'm not sure I have much of a passion for this anymore, not as much as I used to anyway. I'm taking a break for the time being just to pursue other interests, to give myself a break to figure this all out. In the meantime, the Patreon is going to be shut down, since it wouldn't be fair to keep charging people for videos, early access, or whatever, if I'm not making anything. Also, the Discord I have will still remain up. I'll probably check in there from time to time, maybe I'll pop in there. But I'm just going to be focusing on other things for the time being. In any case, thanks for the support over these last few years, all the interesting videos I've had the chance to make, and some of the things I've heard that seem to be quite positive that came out of the channel's existence. Of course, all the videos will stay up, so outside of me, nothing's really going anywhere. Just not really gonna have anything happen. Maybe if a new Spyro news gets dropped or something, I'll make a video, but that's about it. Anyway, for this video, big thank you to my Patreons, Abyssal Blue, ConquerFan91, Eric Manuel, Jabby, Kiasu Shin, Nightmare Spyro, and Shaggy. I'll see you all around somewhere. Stay safe, historians.